Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's your boy, Mr. Arm, and today I'm going to be showing you how to prepare for the brand new update. If y'all don't already know, Anime Vanguards has officially released a trailer for the new update, the first update ever of the game, and it has been confirmed that we are getting Demon Slayer as the first update. So let me go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about what they're adding. So it has been confirmed that we are getting Tengen, Rengoku, and Akuza in the Demon Slayer update. We don't know too much about what they do right now. We don't know what their attacks are, what their passives are. We just know that they're going to be introduced in the game. Alongside that, we are also finally getting raids. Now, I don't know if we're going to get raids for Demon Slayer or for something else, because within that trailer, we also saw stuff for solo leveling. Specifically, we saw a map sneak, and we saw like an Egress animation sneak. I think the solo leveling stuff is going to be for the raid, and like we're going to get like a world and units on banner for the Demon Slayer part of the update. Regardless, I'm going to be showing you guys today how you should prepare for the brand new update. I'm going to be showing you guys how to get basically every resource in the game, as well as how to progress super quick if you're a new player. Let's get right into it. So the first thing I do want to show you guys is what units you should be using. So I'm going to start from like just brand new fresh player in the game to like a meta team for late game. So let's begin. I think for rares, your best two picks are going to be Luffy and Jonathan. Luffy you can get right at the start of the game because you are given a choice between 3 starters to choose, and one of them is Luffy. So get him. He self-buffs range. It's pretty great. Jonathan, he can self-buff attack damage per takedown. It's kind of like how Sun Jin Woo works. I think it's a little less powerful though. So those two are going to be plenty, although you probably won't even need to use them because you also get gems from codes and stuff, and you can summon. So let's get to the epics now. I think your best epics are going to be Kakashi and Piccolo for actual use in terms of doing damage. Kakashi can stun, and he does pretty good damage in a good AoE, and Piccolo is just raw damage. He has an ability, I think every 6 hits he does like a boosted damage move. Those guys will be doing enough damage to get you through like the first few stages. Of course, you definitely want to pick up a Speedwagon, because this is the only farm in the game. You're going to need farms to be good. You're gonna need farms to do anything harder than story. Trust me on this. It is a requirement. And you should also try to pick up a crocodile, because he is the only unit in the game as of right now that can slow enemies. That might change this update, I'm not sure, but regardless, he's a really easy unit to get. He's a really easy slow, so I recommend you get him. As for legendaries, I think that Kizaru and Goku Black are going to be the best picks for damage. Kizaru, if we check here, can go ahead and show the passives because I actually have him and I still use him to this day. So, Kizaru, his passives, firstly, he is immune to bosses' stuns for 10 seconds. This is pretty on and off when he actually is able to like dodge the boss attack, but more often than not it does work, and it's going to be very useful for dealing with those bosses that just spam stuns. Especially I think the Naruto first stage has a boss like that, so he's really going to help out there, as well as just having a super reduced SPA. This guy is great for shield breaking because he hits 3 times in his initial attack, alongside having like I've seen 2 SPA at the very minimum when I'm using him. So very good, I highly recommend. The other one that I also recommend here is going to be Goku Black, just because he is one of the highest damaging legendaries in the game. He has a really good self buff, and he kind of has a really niche, really low chance to happen insta-kill. You're not really going to use him for the insta-kill because the insta-kill's kind of meh. The conditions for it aren't really that good. It doesn't work on bosses, and it only works when very specific conditions have been met. However, his self buff he can get up to 150% more damage with his self buff, which is really, really powerful. So you're going to be seeing like 1,000 damage on him if you ever get him to max level. Even if you don't get him to max level, he's still going to be doing really good damage. He's still going to be a very reliable unit to use. All right, so as for mythics now, I think that your first mythic you should aim for getting. Now, of course, any mythic that you get is fine to use because they all have infinitely better stats than, let's say, a legendary unit. So you're good with any mythic. But if you are going to specifically go for a mythic, out of all of them, I think the best one to start with is going to be Cha-In. She is really, really solid as a starter unit. Firstly, she has 5 placements, and they're all cheap compared to the other mythics. She is 1.6k to place down. She has a great passive that lets her do more damage to bosses in terms of her crit ability. So she's going to gain more crit when she's doing damage to bosses. She starts with a nice big line AoE attack, going into a cone and then going into a larger cone that does 3 hits. So not only is she good at dealing with multiple enemies, she can also deal with shields a little bit. Not too much, but her spam ability also helps with shields, and the fact that her range is pretty decent. So she's good at catching stragglers, she's good at dealing with shields. She can essentially hard carry you through the majority of story, and I use her a lot for challenges, and she works very nicely for challenges as well, so she's going to let you do that. And on top of that, she's one of the best units to use for a macro that we'll be covering later on that'll get you a bunch of gems. So I highly, highly recommend going for her. If not, any other mythic will suffice, guys. I'm telling you right now, once you get a mythic, things become infinitely easier for you. But I recommend after getting her, you should probably try to go for Sun Jin Woo, because Sun Jin Woo is just one of the most powerful units in the game. And once you get him, you're going to be able to do some stuff. You're going to be able to grind the legendary stages and that much easier. And then you can go for Agris. I do recommend trying to get your battle pass leveled up as quick as possible so you can get Hakura in as well, because she is very good support. You could use her anywhere as long as you have 6 rounds to spare when you put her down. You will get a nice big buff. And of course, any of these other mythics are fine. I'd say the worst ones out of this entire selection are either going to be Sasuke or Vegeta. They aren't really that great come late game. They don't really have that many applications. Sasuke can stun, but the stun is so like, it's like half of a second. It's really not good for support. And Vegeta's ability is, I think it's bugged right now. And on top of that, it's kind of very situational. You're not going to be able to use it a lot very well. So I just don't recommend him. I just recommend that you stick with Sun Jin Woo, Cha, and then eventually go to Igris, and as well running Hakura. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and cover what you can do to grind for gems, because you're definitely going to need a lot of gems. As you can see, I've already stockpiled plenty for the update. I am going to get more. I might be able to hit 150k with this macro that I'm about to show you. It is very powerful. The only thing is it does require you to have a multi-placement mythic, preferably evoed. I don't know if you can do it without evo, but they definitely have to be at the very least leveled. I'd recommend at least 4 placements, so something like Naruto or Cha. Cha is going to be the best pick for this. In all honesty, I think Vegeta is multi-placement as well, like a 4. So yeah, just something that can place multiple times. I did not come up with this macro. It was made by Bloxbox Gaming. I will link it in the description so that you guys can get more of a detailed look at it. This isn't really going to be a tutorial. I just want to showcase how the macro works and essentially how you get gems from it. So let me just go ahead and hop into an infinite and show you guys what it is. All right, so this macro is going to be on the solo leveling infinite stage. What you do essentially is you walk up here to right around here is good enough. I have my tiny task open. I don't think you guys can see it because I'm just capturing my Roblox side, but I'm gonna go ahead and start it now. I have this set to 3x and on continuous playback. So as you can see, it starts for me immediately. It clicks the replay button, and it clicks the auto start button. And what it does is essentially it places down 4 of my cha and my Hakura Rin in the middle so that she buffs all of my cha, and then it starts it starts spam upgrading them. And essentially that's all you have to do. What you're trying to achieve with this macro is you're trying to get to at least wave 30. Once you get to wave 30, if you die past that, that's perfectly fine. That is what this macro is designed to do. It's not one of those macros where you have to like do a 1-to-1 recreation. This is a repeating macro, which is a very fortunate find to have in this game, because so far all of them have been that like super slow 5-minute long macro. So this one's great to have as just like a quick macro that you can just boot up, repeats a bunch of times, and by the end of it you'll be left with a good amount of gems. So I believe the rates for this one, at least for me, because I am buffing my chas and max upgrading them, I am reaching around wave 40-ish when I die, 45, something like that. So I am getting around 700 gems per macro. Each macro is taking me about 20 minutes. So that's 2.1k every hour. If we multiply that by 24 hours, let me just go. 2100 times 24 is going to net you around 50k gems for a full 24 hours of macroing. I don't do 24-hour macros because I want to use my PC. I usually do 12 hours, which is still 25k if you utilize those full 12 hours, which is pretty accurate. That is what I get, more or less. Sometimes the macro will goof up a little bit and you'll die slightly earlier. It's not perfect, but this is the best method of getting gems. Let me show you what you can do if you cannot macro. So if you cannot, unfortunately, macro, there still are a couple of solutions. Only one of them is going to be AFK though, unfortunately, and it might be a little bit obvious. I'm just going to go ahead over here and show it to you. It's going to be the AFK time chamber. Now this thing isn't really great. I'm going to tell you right now, they heavily nerfed it from what it used to be when the game first launched. When it first launched, it was actually comparable to some of the macros that that people had been doing. Frankly, it was kind of busted, but now they've just nerfed it to the ground, and unfortunately, it's not as great as it used to be. So if we go ahead and hop into it here, you're going to see it's going to pay out every 230 seconds, we'll say. Right now, it says that I only have 1.5x. For whatever reason, it's bugged on the very first payout, and it's not actually giving you 1.5x. I have premium and VIP, so I would be getting 3x from this. And the gain from 3x is 30. So every 230 seconds, you would be getting 30 gems. Let me just go ahead and so 230 divided by 60. That's about 4 minutes. So every 4 minutes, you're going to be getting about 30 gems. So that means you're getting 15 payouts, a little bit more than 15 payouts every hour. I'm going to go ahead and just say like 16 payouts. So every hour, 16 times 30, you're getting 480 gems with the max buffs. And if we do that, like say 24 hours, you'd be getting a little less than 12k gems for a 24-hour macro. So significantly less than what you would doing the doing the infinite macro, unfortunately. But that's all we have for people who can do macros, that's all we have for AFKing for people who can't do macros. There is still a method of getting a lot of gems. It is manual grinding though, and it would be, let me go ahead and show you here, paragons. Now, the way that paragons work is it'll give you more gems the further you're in. And right now, I can tell you, I am at floor 78. I have been doing a little bit of grinding. I'm at floor 78 of the Namek Paragon. And this is paying out about, I think it was 800 gems per floor last time I saw. No, it was actually 900. I was getting 900. So as long as you're able to do Paragon, you will get a good amount of gems. Even at the earlier floors, you're going to be getting maybe 100, 200 per completion. you do need some pretty good units the further you go. Right now, even I'm struggling with my Paragon team. If you see here, it is Sunjin Woo, Egress, and then some supports. Yeah, even with this team, I am struggling. So Paragon does get really hard later on, unfortunately. And this is sort of a late game, end game solution when you really don't have anything else to do in the game. You just want to manually farm gems. This is what you can do. But still, for the earlier game people, you can grind Paragon. I'm going to show you right now why that could also be beneficial for another thing. So another important thing you can do to get more gems and just frankly a bunch of resources, miscellaneous resources in this game is your achievements. This is what I was talking about when I mentioned the Paragons. The Paragon achievements give some of the best rewards in the entire game, but right now I'm just going to cover these real quick. So each time that you do a nightmare stage for the first time, you will be able to claim 1 reroll per stage here. So all of these, this is like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5, Act 6. And once you do all of these, you'll be able to claim this reward here that has 1,000 gems and 5 rerolls. Multiply that by 3, I'm getting 15 rerolls plus 18, which is 15 plus 18 is like 33, I think. 33 rerolls in total from this, alongside your gems, which is going to be 3k. It's not too much, but it is still there. It is something that you're going to do regardless, so it is a nice little boost to your gems. The collector one, this one gives 2k gems and some gems per, but this one's, you're not going to get it for a while, so ignore it. But the best ones here are going to be your Paragon Conquerors. These are going to require you to hit Paragon level 25. So that means you get to floor 25 in each world's Paragon on Nightmare. This is something that I'd say like a mid-game player will be able to achieve. You are going to need some decent units. I'd say Evoed max level mythics. You do not need like mythic traits on them, I wouldn't say. You probably will have a mythic that has at least 1 mythic trait on it at this point of the game, unless you are really unlucky, which if you are, I feel so sorry for you. But even with just like a mythic that has like blitz on it or something good like that, you should be able to clear these if you know what you're doing. Each 5 floors will reward you with 3 stat chips and 1 super stat chip. So these are really good source of these stat chips. And once you do everything, the big reward is going to be 900 gems, but 18 rerolls. That's the big thing. You get 18 rerolls per one of these completed. So at the end of that, you are getting, let's see here, 24. You're getting like 54 rerolls at the end of this whole thing, which is pretty insane. This is probably one of the best things that you can do to boost your account in this game, is to complete all of this. Another way to obtain these miscellaneous resources, you know, like stat chips and rerolls and stuff, you can do your challenges here. Oh, what the? What? The challenges are bugged. What's happening? What's going? Whoa. Huh. Okay, well, ignoring that, you can do your challenges when they are working. That'll give you from essence stones to stat chips to rerolls. The half-hourly challenges are the ones that give the sort of miscellaneous stuff, like it'll be this in this time or that in that time. The daily will give you a spread of all of the stuff. So the daily is going to give you 1 of each sort of thing. It gives you 2 rerolls. It gives you 2 to 3 of those stat chips, 1 super stat chip, some essence stones, and all that. So yeah, you're going to want to, in my opinion, how to use your stats, you're going to want to stockpile these regular stat chips. Only use them once you have 100% worthiness on a unit, so like just roll it so you can get those AAA stats, so you don't have to worry about having bad stats. And then you could save them for a unit that you really want good stats on, because what you can do then is you can just roll on 0 worthiness until you get something really good. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to save it for either an Alucard or for the upcoming update units, whichever one might be the best DPS out of that. I'm just saving them, and you're just going to want to use mainly your super stat chips once you do that roll to try to get anything better. Don't use up all your super stat chips. You know, if you keep getting A's, then that's okay. You can just keep an A for the time being. You don't need the super duper ultimate damage stat unless you have like a really good trait on that unit, for example, and you just really want to get the max out of it. But as of right now, since this is a update readiness video, I just say that you save them. That is my professional opinion on the matter, is just save them. So speaking of those essence stones earlier, the last thing that I want to cover in this video is what to do when you need essence stones right now, and I mean just right now. I think the absolute best thing to do is just to do egress runs. If you do not already have egress, then doing egress runs will net you at least 1 to 3 green essence stones per run, as well as giving you the best XP material in the game as of right now, and of course the chance to drop egress. It usually takes around 150 runs for the average player to drop egress from what I've seen. Of course there are outliers. There are people who have gone like 500 runs. I feel so terrible for them. That's just really tragic. But yeah, you could run this. You'll definitely, you know, by the time that you reach that amount of runs, you will definitely be stocked up on these things. Now, a word of caution. These do have a stack limit. These go up to 100 green essence stones. After that, any more that you get will just not count. So what I recommend you do is you go into the crafting menu and you just craft them up. If you are near max or are at max for your green essence stones, just craft them into anything. You know, you don't have to put them all into one essence stone. You can do like a nice even spread, but just craft them, because then they're just going to waste. The legendary essence stones, the colored ones, they have a stack limit of 50, and you're not going to be hitting that stack limit super easily without you know, grinding an obscene amount of these things. So you'll be fine. And of course, you could always turn them into rainbows as well, which takes 1 of each if you are hitting stack limits. So just try to maximize the amount of green essence stones that you're using while still keeping a good supply in hand, because usually evos cost like 30 of them per 20 to 30. Some evos cost like even 40 if there aren't any specific evo items. So yeah, that is my tip for the green essence stones. All right, and with that, everything should have been covered. So I've discussed how to farm gems, how to farm the miscellaneous items, whatever it may be, rerolls, stat chips, etc., how to manage your essence stones. So yeah, that's all you really need to be prepared for this update. Just stockpile everything, save everything. At this point, it's not really worth wasting a lot of your materials, because you could potentially get an even better unit from this update. Of course, you can still go for the older units, you know, just don't spend your entire bank trying to do that, because we are at the midst of an update. Make sure to put in all the codes as well, as that's going to give you just a general boost to your account. There are some pretty good codes going on right now. If you want to see all the codes, I recommend you join the Discord server. If not, you can also check the official Anime Vanguards wiki. That has most of the codes posted up on there, and I will put some relevant codes in the description of this video as well, so that you can claim those. And there's probably going to be new codes for the new update as well. Remember, the update drops September 22nd, so that is actually tomorrow. I will be live streaming, and I will be carrying viewers while doing a big summon. Hopefully we can get some of the new units, possibly even a shiny of those new units, and possibly even Alucard, which I have been hunting for quite a while now. I really want Alucard. He is really useful in Infinite because of that trait that he has, but I digress. That is the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be chapterizing this one so I don't have to waste any of your time, because this video is kind of long already. It was just me yapping. But yeah, you know, just leave me a like, show me some love. I'm trying to get this channel sort of back up there, and my ultimate goal is getting the content creator role for this game, because I would really like to be recognized as a content creator for one of these games, because I've been playing anime tower defense games on Roblox for God knows how long now. It's a genre that I really enjoy, and I would just like to be recognized in some form. If that's not too much of a ridiculous dream. So that's all I got for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed, and that's it. Peace out.